Hey guys, welcome back today. Today we're going to cover our latest tip and hint. And so the tip today that I want to talk to you about is getting good footwear. And I know that probably most of you are thinking, well, duh, I got it. But I don't think most people understand how important the proper footwear is. And the most important point I want to make to you today is you choose your footwear for the shoe that fits you best, not style or fashion. And I know I'm just guilty as anyone else. You see a cool shoe on TV and you're like, I want to get that shoe. It looks awesome. It's going to look great on my feet. It's going to match this. It's going to match that. But I want to tell you that choosing your footwear, especially for exercise, walking, functional, anything that you're doing, you should choose it for the shoe that fits best to your foot, not for fashion. And a couple examples I want to give you is think of your feet. Your feet when you're walking. Your feet are your first point of contact. So if there's any sort of imbalance in your foot, if there's any issues with your feet at all, if you're walking and stepping, that's going to radiate through your entire body. Remember, in your body, everything is interconnected. All the muscles, stabilize your bones. All bones come together and meet at joints. Everything is interconnected in your body, and if your foot is your first point of contact, if there's any breakdown in your foot, that is going to radiate through your entire body. Now, when we're talking about fitness, when we get more advanced into some fitness techniques, we want to start looking at the function of people's body. That the foot is doing a certain thing, that the knee is aligning properly with the foot, that the hips in line with the knee, that the low back, that the abs are drawn in, that the shoulders are done, everything, that the head's in place. Everything should be in alignment so it's functioning appropriately. The example I tell clients is, you're told that everyone is created differently, everyone is unique, and it's true, but the human body is designed to move in the same way for every single person. So the foot on everybody does the same thing. The knee does everything. The quad does the same movement. The calf does the same movement on every person. So if there's a breakdown in a person's body, a lot of times you can put that back towards the foot and see what happens with the foot. And at that point of contact, if the foot is, inverting, exverting, whatever, everting, inverting, whatever it may be, if there's, overpronation, if there's too much of an arch, if the foot is weak in the arch, if the foot is extremely flat, whatever the case may be, if the foot should function at a certain way, and if it's not functioning ideally, what's going to happen is that's going to radiate through your entire body. The knee is going to start, it's probably not going to line up with the foot. The hip's not going to line up with the knee, and muscular imbalances through your entire body are going to start, and it's going to cause issues and problems, everything. There's a reason why everything happens. There's a reason that can be connected to any injury, and a lot of times it happens at your feet. I don't want to show you the brand of these shoes, but I want to show you a couple examples. Here's a great, I have extremely flat feet, and because of my flat foot, I need something that is going to be very supportive in the arch. So this particular shoe, if you notice, see, I'm really pulling at it, and there's not much give in that arch, so it's going to help me with my flat foot. And therefore, as I'm stepping and walking, any imbalances that I have, any turning out of the foot, any caving in of the heel, this is all going to help support that through activity, which is going to minimize my risk of injury and the overcompensation and increase of muscular imbalances. Now let's take a look at another shoe that, a typical flat-soled shoe, if I turn it around, look cool, but as you can tell, see how much more give is in the arch? Now think about that. If I have a flat foot and I have problems with my feet and I have an unsupportive shoe, think about what's going to happen as I'm walking. If my foot is more unsupportive and I have a tendency to have knee problems, guess what's going to happen to the knee? Guess what's going to happen to maybe some overactive muscles in my calves and everything else? Now think about if I'm running, if I'm doing any sort of functional activity, anything else. You can probably guess that the chances for injury and what have you are going to greatly increase. The point I'm trying to make is the importance of having good shoes. Good shoes to fit your feet specifically, and I want to give you a couple options that you have in choosing good shoes. The most important thing I want to say is whether it's yourvirtualfitness.com or other NASM certified trainers. we can help tremendously to look at different flexibility things that you can do, different imbalance or corrective strategies that can be implemented into what you're doing to help improve the stabilization of the foot. So everything throughout your body that's interconnected, starting with your first point of contact at your foot, is going to be more stabilized. But if you don't have the ability to work with us through yourvirtualfitness.com, if you don't have the ability to work with an NASM trainer, we recommend at the bare minimum get good shoes. And of course, if you're working with us, we're going to still recommend that you get good shoes. So how do you find shoes that fit right for your feet? Two great options. In your particular town, I know in our town we have different running stores where they will actually look at your foot. They will look at how you walk. They'll look at how your foot is structured, and they'll match the shoe to meet where your imbalances may be or the shape of your foot. So that's point number one. Look for a store that is going to have enough knowledge to see how you walk and the shape of your foot to fit a shoe for your foot. Just don't walk into a mall store and think that you're going to find the coolest shoe on the shelf that's brand new, that it's going to be the right one for your foot. You need to find a specialist in your area, usually running store shoes, that someone can look at your foot, look at how you walk, and fit the shoe for your foot. Now, if you don't have a store in your area, my plug to a shoe company is going to be brooksrunning.com. Brooks shoes, and that's this one that I have right here, in my opinion, are phenomenal shoes. They are the shoes that I particularly like, and they fit my foot and almost everyone's foot perfectly, and they're a great shoe. But the thing that I want you to do is go to brooksrunning.com, and on the left-hand side, there's a box that says Shoe Advisor. It's an online shoe advisor that they'll ask you questions about your foot and show you which of their shoes is going to fit your foot in the best way. Obviously, working with a trainer or a coach is the best way. Going to a running store or another store that can fit your foot specifically for the right shoe, that's probably the next best option. Also working with a trainer, doing that all together. But if none of that's available, go to brooksrunning.com, click on the Shoe Advisor button, and find a shoe that's going to fit your foot right, so you know that first point of contact is safe, and that will reduce your risk of injury. It will reduce your risk of having muscular imbalances much, much greatly. I appreciate you joining us today.
You feel that something's wrong.